I hope your week is progressing well here in the office, burning the midnight oil with a thought on this week's Torah portions. It's a double Torah portion. The events of this week's Torah portion are a continuation of the events of 2 weeks ago, where God's presence is finally manifest in the Mishkan. The Mishkan is the temple that traveled with the Jewish people in the desert. So until that point, they put all this effort into creating the vestments for the Levites and the priests and the different furniture that was in there. There was the menorah and the altar, and then there was the structure itself, a lot of details. And but there were no lights and special effects, so to speak. There was no godliness. Moses prays, and all of a sudden God appears, an expression of godliness in a fire, and consumes their sacrifice, and it's a very special time. Aaron the high priest had two sons who were almost angels. They're very special, very spiritual, and they're very taken by this display of godliness, and they run into the Holy of Holies, and it was too powerful for them spiritually, and their souls expire. And all of a sudden, this very happy event, which was described as a wedding, is suddenly turned into a tragic funeral. And all eyes are on Aaron the high priest, and he remains silent. He was mourning, he's deeply mourned by the death of two children, two incredibly precious souls, and his oldest two sons, but he doesn't protest, and he remains silent at that time, and he indicates that the proceedings should continue. It should be noted some of the things, the events of that day were canceled, but all in all, the events of the inauguration continue. Says Rashi and the commentaries, Ma'avirin hameis lefnei hakala, that if there is a wedding and a funeral, this is fascinating, the funeral has to yield for the wedding. In other words, the happy events have to come, are more important than the sad events, so to speak. So this is reflected in Jewish law, that if you have a one-lane highway, you have a hearse coming from one side, and you have this convertible coming from the other end, just married, it would seem like the quorum that the bride and the groom should move to the side for the hearse. But no, the hearse moves to the side and makes way for the bride and the groom, which is a very powerful lesson, I think, that we can apply to our own lives. And that is that I think in our own lives, and everyone in their own way has had triumphs, the wedding, certain events in their life, and happy moments, and also tragic events, or sometimes more or lesser degree embarrassing moments, or certain things that we'd rather forget. And so the question becomes, what should we emphasize in our mind? Sometimes human nature is to overemphasize and to overthink the negative things, and somehow downplay the positive things that have happened and the blessings. And so the enduring lesson of this week's Torah portion is that the hearse makes way for the just married decorated car, which represents that we have to see ourselves and see our life through the prism of the happy events, to play up the happy events in our life, and see ourselves through that prism, and play down anything negative. And may Hashem bless you and me and us, that we only have happy events, revealed good, and only good things up ahead, and have a wonderful Shabbos.